I've been doing push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley on this side. We got Richie Giuliano on that side. And you, ladies and gentlemen, whether you know it or not, are in the surf and turf capital of the world, East Palestine, Ohio, where we thought our troubles, Richie, not that it's anybody else's problem. We thought our troubles were over with the leaky roof. We put down this beautiful turf, which people can kind of get a glimpse of behind you. And then we walk in after the rainstorm, after everything is taken care of last night. We postponed the YSN All-Star softball game. I didn't think anything of it. You and Anthony kind of roll in today, and
yep. Well, Ant came out, and I was like, "What's the problem?" And I just looked behind him, and there's just a trail of water on the floor. I'm like, "That's not good." He's like, "It's everywhere."
There's puddles, literally puddles everywhere. It's frustrating. It's a frustrating thing, and I know that there's a lot of factors that go into it. We've been told that it has been taken care of. There's a new roof supposedly on YSN headquarters, but apparently that roof's not good either, because we are like, if we took our shirt off right now, it'd be like David Hasselhoff on Baywatch. I mean, it's like there are waves coming in. So we have an industrial fan ready to go. Sounds like a jet engine. The door is open, so the lighting is great. Coming off of the door, Richie is brighter than he's ever been in his life, and of course, we have a lot to talk about today. So there was talk maybe postponing it, but you know what? We've done enough postponement in the last 24 hours. We want to bring the people what they want on the Power Hour, and of course, we start as we always do, Mr. Giuliano, with On This Day in Sports History. So let's roll that. All right, so on this day in sports history, 1988, Mike Tyson knocks out Michael Spink. Never heard of him again. I wonder why. 91 seconds in Atlantic City. He got $67 million for that fight.
Yeah.
That's a nice purse.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Michael Spink would last longer than both of us would in the ring with Mike Tyson. I'd walk in, ting.
You go on one hit?
I'm done, yeah.
I would just run away from him from 92 seconds.
Like if it's the first round.
If I got 67, like what is it, $67 million for purse, and I get 10% of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably get half.
Okay, and they say you got to make it 92 seconds.
I'd be running around.
Boy, I am.
Chicken with my head cut off.
I am cardioing it up, and I'm talking to Tyson the entire time, because if he's listening, he can't be punching.
Nope.
So I'm just gonna talk smack the entire time and apologize after, and maybe we'll go out for a beer or whatever. Or, we can pet his tiger after the boxing match.
I'd rather face the tiger in that ring than him.
No,
for sure.
No.
At least I could jump over the ropes.
Okay, so 91 seconds. Who do you think you could take out?
Me?
Take out in 91 seconds in a fight?
Not too many people.
Josh?
No, he would.
You guys would go the distance.
He would he'd give me at least 3 rounds.
Out of how many? 12
seconds. That'd be tough. I'm trying to think of anybody that I could beat 90. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't even think of one.
It'd be tough.
I'm not an intimidating person,
No, you're not. You're not a fighter. You're a lover.
Yeah, and I don't have much force behind my punch.
No.
If I hit you, it probably would hurt, but I'm not gonna knock you out cold.
It's like a bee sting.
Yeah. Well,
Put some
hopefully
ice.
a little bit more than that.
Put some ice on it. 5 minutes later, you're good.
I mean, like, I just don't think I can knock anybody out in 91 seconds.
91
Unless I would
seconds.
be so infuriated that I just land a perfect hook.
Would you rather be in a boxing match or a UFC style match?
Probably UFC style.
Me too.
Because I can I'm pretty agile, so I can move my body around.
Like a cheetah.
Yeah. Boxing one-on-one, upper body to upper body, I don't have much of a chance.
That's true.
In my opinion.
What's your fighting weight? What would you be at?
About $160.
Okay. So you and me can go, man. I'm at 171 right now.
Right.
I'll drop a couple pounds. We got the title
we'll
over there.
Over here.
We got the little water boxing. Little water boxing. I like it. 91 seconds, a minute and a half be tough to fight anybody. Michael
It'd be
Spink,
tough to beat anybody in 91 seconds.
He must have just went right at Tyson.
He must have missed one body shot, and then once he went low, Tyson just went.
And that's 88. So that's like the height of Mike Tyson's ass kicking days.
Yeah.
So okay.
And can you imagine getting paid? What was it? 67 million?
Nope.
What was it?
Oh yeah, it was. But I can't.
million?
I can't imagine that.
No, like for one fight,
and you get half the purse in 88. So if it's 67, Dort. If it's 67 mil, see there goes my lighting. If it's 67 mil in 88, what would it be today? I mean, that's
probably 100 some.
Dude, that's almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
definitely
crazy.
Be over 100.
That's crazy.
For 91 seconds, and you live comfortably. Your grandparents, you could pay them off. Your grandson, their son.
Generational change.
Money.
And I mean, you think that's 50%. It's 33 mil, right?
Yeah.
And some change. That is unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
Your promoter gets a little piece of that, agent, whatever it may
Obviously,
be.
you got to pay a little bit off.
But my goodness. Would you do it? Would you get in the ring with Mike Tyson in 1988, today's version of Mike Tyson, in 1988 for $30 million?
I mean,
I would, hands down.
See, like, there's obviously the money is worth it, but like, if you think about it, if you would get hit, the amount of brain damage you would have.
I already have it.
Problems, but like serious problems, like down the road.
But you can have brain damage. I mean, with CTE nowadays, you can get it from playing any kind of sport. But like if
punches,
but a $33 million purse to get, you're almost guaranteed CTE. But you're also getting $33 million that can solve some of your problems.
Yeah, it can solve some, but I don't know. I mean, I probably would.
I would do it.
Why not?
Hands down. Would you do it? Would you take, and I think we've talked about this before, but for $33 million, half of the purse in 1988, would you go into the ring with Mike Tyson? You have to last 90 seconds, let's say.
One round.
I would. I'm in on it. We want to hear from you from that. And we also want to talk to you about this past weekend. What a great weekend it was, Rich. I mean, when you talk about the All-Star game, you got to announce it. Mm-hmm. I got to take it in like a chicken with my head cut off. But when you step back and you really talk and think about what this game was all about, it was about the young men on that field that were showcasing their talents and showcasing their personalities throughout the game. It was really something special. And again, one of my favorite nights of the year. The other one comes tonight. As someone who's seen it before, but now had a little bit of rooting interest in it, what was it like for you?
It's awesome. It's the best game of the year, in my opinion. I mean, the crowd in itself was unbelievable. I mean, I played in 2 district championships down there, Bob Seam Park against Niles, and that crowd matched that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. It was standing room only.
Yep.
I mean, when you look down at the picnic patio area, down the first base line, even the third base side, I mean, you couldn't find a seat in front of me in the bleachers behind home plate. All the seats, chair backs around home plate were full, both bleachers full. Everybody was walking around having a good time. So many families were there, and everybody knows each other there, right? I mean, in one way or another. So it was almost like a community event that came together, not just, the Mahoning County, but Trumbull County and Columbiana County, every county.
Stark,
in Stark, every county in the Youngstown area was represented really well.
Yeah.
And, the play that we had was way better than what we were expecting. We kind of talked about this prior to the game, there's going to be a lot of rust that these guys are going to have to knock off, but it just seemed like they just picked up right where they left off from the high school baseball season.
8-0 was really the outcome, but 8-5,
Yeah.
8-5 was where it was at. I thought that was really cool at the end. And as far as I know, it was player generated. It was, okay, Team Warner was going to go out and put every player on the field in the bottom of the 9th inning, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, it's about fun, Richie. It's about these kids and this game that is so much fun. From the time I saw a thing today, and it really resonated with me, where they said, do you remember your 5th error and your 12th error when you started playing baseball? You don't, because you didn't care, because it was fun. And not that there wasn't some bragging rights on the line, because there was some good baseball being played.
Yeah, there was.
Pitching was outstanding, I thought.
Was really good.
Some offense, there were some errors, but I think that everybody had a good time. We had some mic'd up stuff going on with, I'm going to give a plug, Triple Threat Media. Go check them out on Instagram. Good stuff, good guys, great photography. We had some unbelievable photography around. I mean, we're blessed here with YSN to be associated with some of the best photographers. You talk about our chief photographer, Gary Leininger, first and foremost, looking at Lori's view, our good friend Lori, who's based out of East Palestine. You have Mahoning Valley Sports, obviously. They had a couple guys that were out there taking pictures for us, Triple Threat Media. And you had, there was parents taking pictures because it was an event, and I think that what gets caught up in all of this is, yes, it was an all-star game. Yes, we have to keep score. But at the base of all of it is, we want our all-star games to be fun for everybody. We want it to be an event and things people celebrate. I saw kids getting jerseys autographed, baseballs autographed. I know Z got baseball autographed. From some of the guys, some
they swapped jerseys too.
Yeah, what was Treveri and Roth at the end of the game, swapping jerseys, which I thought was cool on so many levels. And again, while it was a baseball game, it was an event that had so many different layers to peel back, and some of them definitely stood out amongst the others. But being able to be in the dugout was really cool with me and for me, because I was able to look and see these guys in different uniforms talking and, just yucking it up. And these guys were, at each other's throats all year in some cases. So it was awesome. But you were in the booth. You got some interviews. Cool. What were some of the interviews that stood out to you?
Yeah, I appreciate all the time that the athletes came up and they gave me, of course, because, one of the interviews we were supposed to do was Kaylee when he came up, but then he had to scramble back down because he had an at bat. But yeah, we had a bunch of good guys come up. Vital Shees, Treveri, Tyson, Lazari, and Kaylee all came up, those 5 guys in order. So it was awesome. We had some great interviews. And like I was telling you before the show, we had one interview with Kaylee from Hubbard, who came up and his sister caught a foul ball and got a huge ovation live on the broadcast while I was interviewing him. So it was right on cue, perfect timing. But a couple of guys that came up and, some really great interviews, including Evan Tice from East Liverpool. And you got to
do your Tice interview, or your Tice impression, because that was good. That was solid.
Yeah. I've seen that guy before, Beaver local guy, so our crosstown rival, and I just come up there. He throws me a fastball in, and I just shove that thing up the gut for a base hit. So that's about it.
ET is my main dude.
He's awesome. Dude.
I love that kid.
Talking to him,
but he just shoots it straight.
He does,
and because he's so used to it. Obviously he's so good at self-promoting.
He is. And that's the one thing I said. I'm like, what camps have you gone to? Like, what schools have you visited? And he rattled off the entire Youngstown State coaching staff off the top of his head. He knew every single name. And
he wants it bad.
He does. He wants it bad. But, he's a great person. After the game, he came up to me and said, thank you for doing the interview with me. So that was really cool when I saw him in the crowd. And he was really appreciative of, what we did for him. And, it's kind of, that we'll pat your back and you pat our back.
Certainly. And there's never a time that ET says no to interview or to talk or to chat. And one of the cool things that I saw after the game that happened kind of in the shadows.
These flies are all over you.
Dude, yeah, they're all over me.
They've been landed on your course.
On my nugget. This is ridiculous. But we got to have the head open or else it's going to be Stink City in here. But the thing that I thought was cool was I'm walking out with Joe Roth and his mom, Anna Marie, and ET sought out Joe to tell him thank you. And there's like a bond. And I've said this before. It's a fraternity to be a catcher. And Joe was one of the best, bar none. And what people don't realize is, even though Joe's going to Akron to pitch, Joe was one of the godfathers of catching here for the last, 10 years, I want to say. I mean, he's been a catcher for a long time, and the respect that ET had for Joe Roth. And I said, listen, if you ever need anything, you call him. Like, that's the guy you need to call, because he's going to go play D1 ball, which is a dream of all these kids.
Mm-hmm.
But just continuing to play is these flies. Unbelievable.
They're on your head.
Yeah, now that's coming at me. He's going kamikaze on me. So it just, to be able to see some of these kids, and that's, well, it's great to have senior-led all-star games, and that's phenomenal.
There's a lot of younger kids in the game.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, because these kids get a taste of all-star games, and they understand what it's about, and they see the all-star game, like that'll be coming up and being played for the major leagues, and you want to take a little bit off of it. Next year, I got to be honest, and I don't know why I'm saying this and speaking it into existence. We've thought about it for years. I want to do a home run derby.
That'd be sweet.
I want to do a home run derby. You get a shorter porch. We don't do it at sea.
Yeah, it'd be tougher to play.
But you get a shorter porch, and we have a home run derby the night before. We do softball and we do baseball, and I think that, again, that engages some of the best, and it makes it a fun atmosphere. Everybody gets to yuck it up. They get their T-shirts that night, and they wear their hats.
You can go do it like Coke Field in Austintown.
I think that's a good idea.
It'd be a good place to play it.
Yeah.
You don't have to play it on the big field. I mean, you want to see home runs.
You want to see dingers. Yeah, you want to see
smaller field.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing we're going to do next year.
That'd be awesome.
I think we're going to engage in that, because people want to see home runs. People want to see power. I mean, it's a lax atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people that would come to that and also go to the game the next night.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what if you're looking for, Gary Leininger says, what can you do that you didn't do this year? That's it. That's our big one, I think. But there's a special moment to kind of shift gears a little bit on Saturday that we planned. We didn't know how it was going to go. We didn't know who was going to show. But we knew, Michael Morrow is a special, special, special person to me. He's been special since his freshman year. His family has had instantly when JFK signed on, they were all over YSN, especially his dad. His dad's been a huge supporter of what we do. We have a JFK helmet because of him. So it's one of those things where when I talked to Michael, and we kind of had an idea that he was going to end up in the service, in the military in some route. And when I talked to Michael, and he said, yeah, he's always happy to do interviews, but he never wants a signing day. And when you talk to Michael, and he's actually in our open, I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
it's cool because he always talks about his teammates. It's never about him. It's always about his teammates. When he was a running back or a standout defensive player for JFK, it was always about the guys up front. It was always about the quarterback and the opportunities. It's the kind of guy he is. And then for him to now be at West Point, Saturday was his last night. Second to last night as a civilian, last night in Youngstown, to call in his home for a little bit. And he had no idea. He was clueless as to what was happening. And even though it was a 6th inning stretch, Andrew Fallett, it was a great opportunity to get out there. And I don't know that there was a dry eye in the house.
There was not. The press box was as wet as this floor. Everybody was crying. It was really, my mom even came on. She's like, that was unbelievable. Like, I was crying in the bleacher. I didn't even know the kid, and I was crying.
Yeah. And I think that's something that you look at for, Amos says he wants to have in his yard. I love it.
Wiffle ball style.
Let's go. The kids would love that. I rehearsed it probably 10 times on Saturday.
That was a great speech.
None of it, that was straight off the top of my head, because everything that I wanted to talk about, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
What did you have in your head?
So Michael, here's the story. Michael, I started talking about signing days for boys and girls, and why I'm so proud, and we're all proud whenever they go on to play. Michael turned down a signing day. He had the opportunity to sign, in West Point. We do stuff, even if athletes are not going to college, they're going to do a trade. I think it's important to let people know that, because they're still athletes. They're signing to do something for the rest of their life. I think that was one of the coolest things that nobody's ever done before. And so the military to me is top priority. My grandfather was a Marine, my uncle in the Air Force, and I worked for a military-based company for 7 years. And I learned a lot about myself through just being around people in the military. I was never able to go on myself. I had different plans. And I was scared. You know, when I graduated, it was 03 and it was fresh off of 9/11 and you're going overseas. I'm not that guy. Like I can talk to you all day and I can, but I'm not brave like that. And I'll be honest, these young men and women that are going over and we don't know, Richie, they don't know us, but they're, you know, fighting for us and our freedoms. That's why this country is so great, you know, and that's why it's, I love this country. It's why our colors are red, white, and blue at YSN. I love this country more than anything. You know, it's top of the list. Family, country, or what, God, family, country, you know? So when Michael turned down an opportunity at signing day earlier this year, I told his dad that we're going to get him. Like, for him to do what he does, we're going to get him. But the reason that he turned down his signing day, this is what gets me choked up. He said, and I quote, "I don't want a signing day because the guys that I'm going to be fighting with don't get one." He's a teamer.
Yeah. He's
not going to outshine anybody. He's the guy you want in the foxhole with you. He's the guy that you want fighting for your country. He's the guy that's going to be fighting for your country. You know, he's at West Point and he's the best of the best, you know, and I don't want to pull any punches even saying that, because he is. And that young man deserved that moment. So when I somehow got out something that made some sense, because that's what I wanted to tell, and I completely blanked. Like I looked out and I'm like, I told you.
Black.
Yeah. So I told you the other day, like when I look at this, I act like I'm talking to my grandma, right? Well, there was cameras everywhere.
There was.
But it was one of those things where I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, where do I look?
Yeah.
And it took like instantly, for some reason, I went back to like 4th grade when they said, when you do a speech, you look here, and you look here. Not at one person, but you pick out of the crowd just spots. So I'm looking straight on and I see camera. And I'm like, oh. And you can hear it. If you want a little backstory, you can hear it in the speech. I started out and I said, you know, our country. And then I'm like, where do I go? Like, where am I going with this? And I think more people were, what I thought was paying attention to Michael, were paying attention to me. And I was like, I don't want this. So I had to speed it up a little bit more, which was fine because I can get long-winded. But it's one of those things where I wanted people to know why we were stopping the game. I wanted people to know why out of 50 kids, we were bringing him to the forefront. And if you watch the tape, he knows. As soon as we start talking, he knew. And they pushed him up front. And obviously what happened after was shaking the hands of every single player, every single coach on the field. There were special people in his life that were instrumental at every base. And one of them is my mentor, Ed Kiernan, a guy that's very, very important in my life. He was at second base and I made it through the speech. And when he got a hug, and Ed's a bigger guy, he's going to give you a bear hug. Those people who knew how important that moment was for him and he wasn't going to grasp it himself got me choked up. That was it. He got second and I felt it. Like I always, like when I start crying, my mouth just starts going like this, like that. Cause I don't know why. It's just one of those triggers. He gets to third base and I was cool. Cause I think it was his friends and one of the guys he looks up to. And then at home with his family, man,
that was awesome
to have your family, to hug them one last time.
Yeah.
You know, cause he was getting in a car the next day and rolling up to New York to West Point. And my guy was, you can see in the photos, I didn't see it that night, but you can see in the photos how tightly his mom and dad are wrapped on him. You know, they didn't want that moment.
I was going to post that picture for our All-Star game photo, but then I was like, you know, you can't really see him too well.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of favorite photos. My favorite photo will always be the photo at the end of the night with everybody.
Yeah.
If you know the Iceman, right? You know that he doesn't smile in a whole lot of pictures. In that picture, he is beaming from ear to ear. And I got that last night from Lori and I started crying again because I'm sitting there. I was like, I got 4 years worth of pictures of this kid.
Bender.
Oh, it was bad. it was bad, and that's probably, we won't tell the insurance company. That's probably where all the water came from. But it was a great moment, and so many people came up and were thanking me after, and I appreciate it, but it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with him and his family. Because again, when you're in the military, it's not just one person that serves; it's your entire family, it's your entire ecosystem that serves, like friends. And I've lost guys that I really, really love, and guys that I've gone to high school or college with, that entered the military, and they never made it back. And I've heard story after story after story, and you never want to think that way. But when someone enters the military in today's day and age, when there's potentially a war pending, you start thinking about things a little bit different.
Yeah.
And Michael is, again, a great young man from a great family. And I went out and bought Army stuff that I completely forgot on Saturday night that I was going to wear and support. And he's a young man I'll always support, along with all these kids. But that was a special moment for me, and I think for everybody there. And I hope everybody takes a piece of that back with them and understands why we did it. But what was your moment of the night?
Oh, I mean, that was
Yeah.
obviously the best. I mean, that was incredible. I kept the mic open. I kept it on just because it was amazing. And I actually went back and I was clapping, and I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't be clapping because they could pick it up. But no, that was unbelievable. Like, just the amount of people there, everybody was standing. There wasn't one person sitting in that entire stadium. It was unbelievable. I mean, everybody was emotional, including everybody sitting up in the broadcasting booth. So
did Red cry?
I don't think Red was crying because Red had to like talk.
Yeah, he had to talk after.
But he cued the music, and the music was really good too. That was amazing. I mean, just to have him be recognized for what he's going to sacrifice for our country. And, I don't think a lot of people realize how difficult it is to get into West Point. My cousin was a 4.5 GPA, couldn't get into West Point because he had a bee allergy. You have to be almost perfect.
I Googled
it. To the West Point.
I Googled it. Okay. So I wanted to know, because I didn't know. 9% admission rate.
Oh, it's insane. It's probably harder to get into there than it is to get into Harvard.
And that's the way you want it, right? If these are
the best of the best.
Yeah. And that's, the Naval Academy is like that too. We're not just pointing out, one branch over the other, but I think that when you look at that, those are the kind of people you want. Those are the people that are making some real tough decisions that have millions of people, in the wake of those decisions. But again, Michael Morrow, if there's one young man that I want out there representing the red, white, and blue, whether it be YSN or our great country in the United States of America, God bless that 16, man. Iceman's going to make it.
And it's so difficult to make that decision at this age. Oh. It's unbelievable. I mean, because there's so much life ahead of you, right? I mean, there's so much to do too. I mean, all of his friends and buddies are going to be going to college, and they're going to be, celebrating on weekends and having funs at the bars and stuff. And, he's sacrificing his time and his life. And he's also probably going to play sports, right?
I don't know if he's decided. I have no idea. I can imagine he's going to be at least there.
You have to play a sport.
Do you really?
I think so.
Oh,
I think you might have to play at least one sport.
I would love to see him suiting up. Yeah. I would go buy that jersey in a heartbeat. We would go, like, the Army Navy game. We'd be there.
That'd be sweet.
We'd be there in a heartbeat, going live from the Army Navy game.
That'd be sweet. Yeah, but I mean, like, just the decision that he had to make, and I think that's what's worth the tribute we did. Not just the fact that he's going to West Point the day after the game, but just the fact that out of all the kids there, he's the only guy that's going to really sacrifice for our freedoms.
I just recognized your shirt. What champions is that? Is that the American League champion? It is. Okay.
Yeah.
So quick story. When I was in a junior in high school, okay, we had a kid that rolled in with a Tennessee Titans World Championship shirt. And I didn't notice it. And I looked over and he sat next to me. I was like, wait a minute. The Titans never won the World Championship. He goes, yeah, I got this from a flea market. So those kids from Ethiopia, they get like the championship shirts, the team that didn't win. He somehow got his hands on them.
Yeah, no, they were. Oh, there's Cleveland Indians World Series champions shirts that you could probably buy somewhere.
You got to get your hands on one of those.
Stock. They're all stocked. They were in the clubhouse.
Yep.
But they lost.
You got to get your hands on one of those.
I wouldn't even want it.
Why?
Because we lost.
It doesn't matter. It says world champions. The people,
know, but-
like, it'll be like in 20 years, nobody will remember who won that game, except if you
Well,
Google
we
it.
would. Yeah,
Well,
we
you will. But some young whippersnapper,
Yeah, they would have no idea.
Z's got no clue. You can tell
No,
Z that
Z would have no idea.
tell the Indians won the championship in 2016.
He ate all my Fritos
Did he really?
on what was that, Friday, Saturday? I don't even remember what day it was. Saturday.
What do we got here? Anthony Romo. Rumor around the valley is that Richie is just bad luck for the Scrappers and caused their losing skid on the play-by-play side of the call.
That's what we were talking about before this. I'm like, I'm just gonna have Romo call these games. Jeez, I mean, he goes in there, they light it up. And I had the game on in the booth,
Yep.
So I was trying to look at both, but
They scored 15 runs or
it's
something like that.
unbelievable. I go, they can't score 2. He comes in and they're lighting it up inside the Parkers. Home runs left and right. But
Good
no,
luck,
I'm
Romo.
happy that he got to see a good game.
Well, and that's the cool thing is you've got a talented young man who we've talked about, who's able to fill in for you. So
Yeah.
you can do some of these things, and it's the same thing. It's good people stepping up and good opportunities for them.
Yeah.
And there's another. Will he be filling in for you? You have a wedding coming up. Your wedding, right?
That's Friday. They don't play Friday.
Okay.
But there's my cousin's wedding,
See,
which is in July. He'll probably have to fill in for that game, so he'll get another opportunity. But he actually gave me a call the night of the All-Star game, and we were talking and going back and forth about my game and his game. And he's like, I didn't realize how much you got to talk. I was like, oh yeah,
a ton.
it's 3.5 hours of just nonstop talking, and it's a lot easier when you got somebody next to you. But
Yep.
when you're by yourself and you got to create these stories, it gets taxing. When it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, you really got to come up with something special.
We're going to come back after this break and talk more about the YSN All-Star game, get you prepped for the YSN girls softball game tonight. By the way, if you want to check out who's going to be on the roster, check out that code in the corner. Scan it on your smartphone or your device, and you can get the roster right on ysnlive.com. It's our digital program, which because of the pushback from last night to tonight, we've had some players step in, some players step out. So we've reorganized the rosters, so they are up to date, ready to go. Coach Schick, Nate Schick, has valiantly come in and stepped up to coach, as there were prior commitments from Coach Ward, which we completely understand. So thank you very much, Coach, for both of you for being able to be available and stepping up in this time of need. And then players. We've got a complete roster, Richie, for tonight that we're excited for. So get the updated roster. If you want to just go up and scan that right there, the QR code at the top right hand of your screen, you can get our roster up and ready for the game for tonight. 7 o'clock is the first pitch time. 5:30, the gates open. All admission is $5. It goes right to charity. We had a great showing on Saturday night. We're excited to get the official amount tonight. Get that money over to Project MKC so they can do some special things in our valley with it. Again, more coming. We got more stories from behind the scenes of Saturday night's game, just like we'll have more stories from tonight's game. And we're excited to give them all to you right here on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by these great supporters.
It's a new year at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi with huge savings on over 350 fully inspected vehicles. We have cars, trucks, SUVs, minivans, and work vehicles. If we don't have it, our team will find it. We aim for 100% credit approval with payments as low as $99 per month. And as always, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. For a great vehicle and a great experience, come see why everyone is stopping by at Acura Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Being able to have success on the football field and the basketball court and just every aspect of, my sports career is now documented. One of the greatest things about high school sports is to be able to talk about it for the rest of your life and to look back on the days with my buddies whenever we had some battles, whether it was with, our rival or just another game. And I could go back and look at it and, not only myself, but my family members, my teammates, and it's something that will last a lifetime. My name is Parker Sherry, and my sports network is your sports network.
It's storm season,
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
and Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air,
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
online,
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
on social media, and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
Welcome back to YSN's Power Hour. DJ Yoke, do you like that?
I do.
Little Randy Orton flair. It is the Power Hour for this Monday, coming off a big weekend of YSN All-Star Baseball game. The softball game gets postponed to tonight. Again, you can go up and get the QR code, scan it, ready to go, and you'll have all the programming notes for tonight. Kids and their schools that they're representing, if they're on Team Schick or Team Pizzullo. So excited for that. Excited for Coach Hank Pizzullo to be able to introduce himself to the YS Nation here, our first ever Western Pennsylvania school. So check them out. Olivia Hare is going to be the representative for Mohawk tonight. And she's actually on the other team because by OHSAA rules, she can't play for her coach if she's not a senior, or else there's all kinds of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So they have different rules in Ohio.
No, that's the Ohio rule. We don't know if it's a Pennsylvania rule.
Okay.
So we kind of prepared it as if it were the same, which I would imagine is, but we don't want to get them in trouble. Yeah. So like in our basketball games, if there's a junior and their coach is our coach, they have to play for the other team.
Okay.
So we had that happen during our basketball because there's lockout days or whatever they call them.
Just like college.
Exactly. And you can't, but if they're a senior and you're not going to coach them again, they can play. You can have as many as you want.
Well, yeah.
So it's going to be cool to have that experience. And I think no more than 4, which is why we capped any player, any team at 4 players. No more than 4 are allowed to play together. So, and that, again, disqualifies seniors that are on their way out or have already graduated. But there's one story that I wanted to pass along, which this is another one of the things. And there's going to be a lot of generalities in this story because it hasn't been fully baked yet from what we think is going to happen. So Saturday night, I asked one of the parents who came in. I'm a big fan, and this is legit. This is 100%. And if you know me, you know this is true. I'm a fan of all the kids that we have on YSN. like a huge fan, like supportive, whatever we can do. One of the guys that was at our All-Star game had an unbelievable year. And he actually showed up and showed out on Saturday night as well. But he was never looked at to go anywhere to play in college. And there was one coach in the stands from and there was a bunch of coaches, as I understand now. There's a bunch of coaches in the stands from higher universities and higher education academies, colleges, whatever you want to say. And I saw one, I pulled him out of the stands. And I said, you've got to meet this kid. He's got too much talent not to play. And I said, here's, height. Here's what he is. He's a stud, multi-sport athlete. Let's get you over and at least let me introduce you to him. This is our game. You can do as you wish. And we got him in front of the coach. And, it sounds like there's going to be a visit and all that. So things happen during those games that are even kind of changing the way that kid or those kids or those programs are represented for the future. And got to talk to that young man's dad, and he was all amped up about it because let's face it, like some parents know how to recruit. They know how the recruitment process goes, but most parents are just winging it.
They're taking videos on their phones. And,
yep.
They're emailing a million coaches and hoping that works. And, maybe 1% of the time it'll work, but it's hard to get recruited, especially, if you don't have any colleges coming to your games, right? Like if you're not going to camps, and, I get it because camps are very expensive to attend. A lot of kids aren't fortunate enough to attend 10 PBR, camps a year because those are a couple $100 each.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, if you don't go to those camps, how else are they going to see it?
They won't. I know and learning that a lot of them watch YSN.
They do, yeah.
Which is really cool. But it's also like seeing these coaches come to, and it was funny. I walked up to the coach, and his wife was taking down notes on our roster, like on our program, of what every kid was doing, and trying to figure out. And this will be something we have to do from now on is put the kid's year of graduation. Because even though this young man was a senior on his way out, I talked to the coach and he says, yeah, we're still recruiting actively because there's we're trying to rebuild our program. So it was really cool to be able to see this and how it happened. And I'm really excited. If this happens, this is what Prospect essentially is going to help do, bring coaches and
somebody's rattling.
I think they're playing kick the can out there. Let's get a game in. It's one of those situations where you want to be part of that, right? You want to get them involved. And you want to see these kids play at the next level. And that's another reason, we have Prospect coming, but also with the President's Athletic Conference, we just signed on with them. We want these schools to see these kids, but we also want these kids to see these schools and understand there's a little bit of familiarity there and we're kind of like the tie-in, so I thought that was one of the coolest moments of the night. Happened before the Michael Morrow thing in the sixth, the bottom of the sixth inning stretch. But that's the kind of stuff that we want to do. That's the kind of stuff we want to be part of. We're not just here to call games. That's our base, right? But we're so much more than a broadcasting company now, I think, and people almost expect us to be at games and be places more than surprised that we're there.
Yeah, you're right. And I think Joshua Fitch actually said it best when he was on the interview with you, when he hopped on the Power Hour in the show. He's like, I see your banners everywhere. It's almost like a shocking moment when, YSN's not there. You know what I mean? So, we've been everywhere, and it's great to see that particular kid. And I'm not going to, say any names and anything, but, had a triple deep into center field, might have thrown a shutout inning with 2 Ks, might have been second for a runner-up of MVP. If he did throw another inning, he probably would have gotten it, but I'm just going to leave that there. So, when the scouts were there, he showed up at his best time.
Well, yeah, he's got 2 no-nos this year.
Yeah.
Left-handed guy, southpaw. Put it together, people. Put it together.
If you go back and watch it, you'll
figure it out pretty quick. And if you're a fan of YSN, you know exactly what we're talking about. Speaking of people who are fans of YSN, ladies and gentlemen, he's like the Tom Cruise
polo here.
Yeah, I know. Like, what are you bussing tables or what are you doing over there?
So no, actually, so we had an outing this morning at the golf course. So I guess this works out perfectly. You go in at 10 a.m.,
get everything set up, send the guys out at 1. I work out in the same place in the country club, come home. And right when I get off the show at 4 o'clock, I'm going to head back over because all the guys are going to be ready to start coming in. So,
do you work out in that polo?
No. I bring clothes, I work out, come home, shower, and then
he jumps in the pool.
Get back ready. I'll give you guys a full stand-up shot. Got the golf.
Oh, yeah. Above the knee.
Got to.
He's
got to get an even tan.
YSN polos and pants.
You are. Hands down. We'll get you and Channing Tater. Romo is a perfect model for our polos because he's got that slender build, but like he's jacked. Like he's our calendar model.
Look at Richie. Look at those arms.
He just
this shirt's from 2016.
Yeah, he's got the
justice right now.
He stole one from an Ethiopian kid.
Yeah, he's scared to wear the World Series championship shirt. I was tuned in. I was watching.
You have one?
I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't have any Indians. I have all like the Cavs shirts. I don't have any Indians.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You guys were loving that when they won. Loving it. You still see it every time. It's like, what is it? June 20th, June 19th, something like that when they won the championship.
Father's Day.
Yeah. It's every single time you see it run on ESPN. I'm like, for the love of God, did anything else happen on this day? Like, I'm just going to go back on this day in sports history. Something else had to occur other than LeBron winning a championship.
I know the Indians won that day. I don't know why. I can remember Lindor did something really good that day. I don't remember exactly, but I just remember it was like the perfect day.
This has turned into the Formal Sports Podcast once again.
The formal.
Well, that's why I was a few minutes. Richie sent me the link, and I figured, well, I might as well get all ready to go and then just hop on.
Let's talk about your Scrappers experience, man. A well-deserved opportunity for a guy that's worked his ass off. Talk to me about what it was like for you and your expectations going in, and kind of the way that it went.
Oh, it was exciting. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous. It was a weird feeling going into it. I wasn't nervous because I've done games with Richie that are 9 innings for 3 months now. But I don't know. I was really excited because it's awesome when we do these high school games, when we get to talk about the kids around the valley and stuff. Then you go do the Scrappers games and you have guys coming from the University of Houston and Ohio State and all this stuff. I mean, this is like, they have these crazy backgrounds that it's like, there's so much, and Richie knows this, and you know this too, DJ. There's so much, because you've done YSU. There's so much you can plug into broadcasts. So there was so much talking, though. It was a little bit more than I had initially expected. But I picked the perfect night to come out and start doing it. Sure, I guess Richie missed the perfect night because 8-run second inning. I think the Scrappers, obviously they were home. They went up to the plate in 8 innings. They scored in 7 of them. They went down 1, 2, 3 in the first, then put up 8 in the second, and like 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and then 1 run from like every inning on.
And you can't buy a run either.
Nope.
Williamsport kept answering, but the Scrappers would just come back. Zach DeZenzo, who, speaking of Ohio State, he played first base last night for the Scrappers. He's from Ohio State. He hit a 400. Yeah, Marlington guy. He hit a 462-foot home run in that second inning.
Were you out there with the tape?
I don't know where they got that measurement from.
Oh. They got TrackMan. So those stats are right. Everything that they have is on that one system.
And they have TrackMan in baseball, softball, and golf, right?
Golf for sure.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's on softball as well because it takes the trajectory.
I know for a fact that baseball, they have it because they always plug it in on, any MLB broadcast. They always have it.
And at Eastwood, they do it too.
And at Eastwood, they have it.
Because Danny said they had it.
Yep.
So how quickly did they get those stats over to you, Romo? Like that it was 462?
I only saw it after the game. I was looking on my phone and I saw the MLB Draft League. They have their own separate Twitter page. It is like their data page.
I saw that, yeah.
Where they'll post like velos. And I also saw Cole Palpum. I believe his first name's Cole for the Scrappers last night. His velo, he reached like 98 miles an hour on his fastball last night.
So, baby. Would you rather? Okay, here's a question for you guys. Since today is on this date in sports history, Mike Tyson knocked out
Spink,
whatever his name
is.
in 92 seconds in 88. Would you rather take a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, beanball, and you don't get to pick where, or get in the ring with Tyson?
Oh, I'm taking the fastball.
I'd rather take the punch.
I think I'd rather take the punch.
I'm taking the fastball. I've been hit by a baseball before, so I mean,
at 98.
Well, not at 98, but I feel like that's gonna bruise. I'd rather deal with a bruise than a broken jaw.
That would go through your
bruise
polo.
or a broken face.
That would go right through your polo.
I'll turn. I have a strong hip.
You're planted there. You can't move.
Yeah. No. He can
that's
turn.
not
You're facing the mound with your chest forward, and you can't move.
If you take one, like
so then you're dead. So then you're dead.
So then you're dead.
You're not dead. Listen, if you take one in the hip, like you're gonna have a broken
pain.
hip.
In pain. I know it's gonna hurt.
You're
not walking for a week.
Like you're what, $128 soaking wet?
No, I'm actually like over 160 now.
No way.
Swear, I'll send you a picture of the scale after this.
No, I believe you, man. This guy's gonna take off.
I'm gonna have to start eating more chili.
You're gonna have to stop eating so many Starbursts.
That's the thing. I've been
going in your hips.
Trust me, I've been trying to gain weight lately. I've been finally starting to.
Do you ever see Richie eat? Of course you have.
Oh yeah, I've seen him eat in the back of Jamie's car before.
Well, most of that didn't end up in his mouth. It ended up on Jamie's seat. So
my question to you is, for the scrappers, how did you get the booth open? The garage door.
Kendra got it open. Our girl
the
Kendra,
front.
she's what?
Like the door, like the garage door.
So
the window.
So, actually, funny story. It was so hot last night.
Yep.
So, usually, well, for those who don't know, and they just think the garage door opens, it doesn't just open. I've learned that. You have to walk out and like up the seats, up the stands, and you have to climb on the top, on a seat in the top row and push it up. And I'm pushing and pushing. And I'm like,
was it
this
locked?
thing's not going to go. I'm like, how does Richie do this by himself? And I'm like, it hits me. I'm like, I forgot to undo the hinge.
Yeah.
So I had to walk
all the way
luckily,
around.
though, I didn't walk all the way back around because it was early enough where no one was in the suites. So there's suites up to the right. So I just climbed up the railing, climbed over the railing, and then walked around.
That's a kid from Hubbard thinking right there.
That is.
Listen, what would you have done if somebody was in those suites? You just walk right through it.
Can I get a Pepsi, sir?
I don't know. I probably would have just kept my head down.
Just get in line for a hot dog.
Well, I guess funny story actually about hot dogs and dollar dogs. So Friday night was dollar dog night at Progressive. And one of my buddies was at the game. They ran out of hot dogs. The Cleveland Indians ran out of hot dogs.
How many?
I don't know.
I mean, it had to be 100,000 at least.
Over that.
Had to be a lot. He was mad because he won in line for a dollar dog and then had to pay for like a $15 hamburger because.
That's a dent.
Yeah.
That's a kick in the boys right there.
That's a dent.
Because you're sitting there, you're like, okay. So when it comes to dollar dogs, everybody's like Rain Man. They're like, okay, if I get 17 hot dogs, it's $17, which means that I'm good for $2 dogs an inning, basically.
Exactly how it is for Buck Night.
Yep. And if you're that guy in the back and you don't get hot dogs, you don't want to be the guy that just walks away because you just waited there for an hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then you pay $15 for a cheeseburger. Oh, mama.
Well, that's how it was at Buck Night last year. They ran out of kegs for beer.
Oh, boy.
Richie's a burger guy, though. I saw Richie scarf down a hamburger before our one game the other night at the field.
Why not?
He is also a salad guy. When he's golfing, it's a salad.
He won burger and baked beans before the game. I was like, I
Did
don't
you
know
put the
how
beans
you're
on the
doing
burger?
it.
No.
Oh.
But limited portion of the beans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
We were both questioning it pregame.
Beastwood. So Roma, from your standpoint, obviously you'll be calling some football. There's a couple football games on the last couple of weeks. Are you mentally prepared and checked in for football yet, or are you still trying to ride out the summer?
It's actually funny that you bring that up because today, walking outside, this is like a late September autumn day. It's about 72 degrees, breezy. This is perfect because like you go to the golf course and it's 93 degrees and you're barely staying afloat. But a bunch of my guys that were working today, we were talking about football season, and I don't know. I know you don't like talking about it this early, but it's only 2 months away.
I'm good now, man. Trust. I just
You're
did
good
2
now.
football games. I'm ready to go. Like it's football season to me.
Week 1 is just it's going to be stacked. I can't wait to see the views that we get here on YSN, because that Thursday night you have Cheney Poland, Brookfield Ursuline, Springfield South Range. I know there's some others in there. And then, of course, you have Friday night, and then you have Saturday night games as well. So
it's going to be fun.
I'm really excited.
Make sure
hopefully the Ursuline Irish, rumor around the mill, Ursuline Irish maybe getting a new play-by-play guy.
That's what I hear. I mean, we got to run it by the assistant GM, but I think that it's all but shored up.
Assistant GM.
Which, you want to talk about MIA. Like, where's he today?
I don't know.
He's probably swimming somewhere on this turf. Romo, you need to come down and bring your swim trunks so you can hang out on the turf with us.
I heard that we've got some leakage there.
Bad news, Bears, man. It's just not good. Like Richie, I went over. Where did I go? I went somewhere and I came back and you guys are talking about
Doyle's.
I didn't go to Doyle's. I didn't go to Doyle's for once. They're not open today.
Oh.
But I came back and Anthony's like he's got a buoy. He's out there. Just rolling around with a buoy and Jaws swimming around him. So he's like, there's puddles everywhere. So Richie and Kyle were like,
I thought something bad happened because he came out and I was like, there's just water behind him. I'm like, did you like spill your like Gatorade or something? Like, what just happened? He's like, it's everywhere. It's like, where's Deej? I'm like, I have no idea. And I went back here. I'm like, oh boy.
You guys just kind of peek your head around. Like it looked like the picture I always see. If you ever watch the show Friends, it's like all of them up the side of the door. Like it's just Richie and Kyle like this, standing on the back.
The preserved podcast had to be postponed.
Yes, they were so afraid.
I was gonna say I don't want to cut you guys off, but I just want to give in my 2 cents. I wasn't able to be on it earlier. What a big night tonight for softball. You're on the network,
right above your head. You can get the rosters, man. Haley Croyle sounds like she's going to make her triumphant return, and last time you'll see her in a Hubbard Eagles jersey. So we're excited for that. And I mean, we got 52 girls that are going to be at this game tonight, which means that there's going to be a lot of money raised for a good cause, and hopefully, and I'm 100% certain they're going to put on a show because young ladies in this All-Star game, everybody gets along, everybody understands, and they're a little bit more entertaining sometimes than the guys. So the bar is set here for them, and I expect it fully to be here by the end of the night. So we're excited. So unfortunately,
I'm excited.
Are you going to tune in? I know you can't be there.
All right, I'm going to try to swing by towards the end. I'm going to try to swing by because that's my spot, the Cavelli Sports Complex. That's my home.
I heard
softball games.
They're naming them after you. I heard after it's all said and done.
That's where it was at that field where I got my Sports Center Top 10 nomination.
That's right. That's what. I love it.
You got to walk in that booth and tell Ty and Ant, kick the curb.
Since you're going to be on with us, in the fall on these super shows we're having on Friday, you want to be part of the Spark today?
Of course.
All right, let's hit it. Here we go. It's the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Anything commercial, residential, anything electrical, head over to DickeyElectric.com or visit them at their headquarters in North Lima, Ohio. Richard?
I think my spark's got to be one of my best friends from high school is coming back home for a week, and Joe Dundee. You know Joe. And we played Fortnite with him a couple
times.
We
play Fortnite all the time during the winter.
Yeah, so he knows Joe, and he's coming back. He's going to be staying with me for a week for that wedding on Friday. So I'm really looking forward to that. And his mom was sick, had cancer, and he stayed with me for a month when he was a kid, when she had to go to Boston for her treatment. So, it's kind of like that again. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to having him come and stay in my house again. And, he's probably going to come to the office.
I was going to say, word on the street is he's coming here.
He's probably going to have to come here once or twice because he's got nowhere else to go, or else, one of our other friends will pick him up. I'm looking forward to that.
We got to get a plane ticket for Romo to get down here one of these days. That way,
we're gonna fly him into the East Palestine Community Park.
That's it, baby. I'm gonna go negative spark. Obviously, we've been talking about it a lot. I am so mad about this turf. We just put a lot of time and resources into this turf. There's a lot of good. I mean, with Shoreline painting it and Tommy Pease, our good buddy from East Liverpool, dropping it down for us. It's beautiful, and I just hope we can preserve it. We're going to turn the fans on. I'm so bummed, and it's one of those things. One of the reasons we stayed here was because we believe. I'm an East Palestine boy. I believe in East Palestine. Want to stay here, but if we can't have nice things, we can't do it. So we got about a year and a half left on this, and hopefully we can fix this roof before. Because listen, if we got to do some upgrades, that's one of the things we've talked about, and if we got a lot of electricity rolling back here, man. And that's a scary thing whenever this place is leaking, and we got some cords on the floor, and we want everybody to be safe. So hopefully we can get all of this fixed, or else we're going to be looking for somewhere up the 14 somewhere. So that's my spark, Mr. Romo. I'm sure you've got a ton of them.
I got 2 sparks today, a negative and a positive. I'll start with the negative. The negative is potholes. My car got swallowed into a pothole on the way to work. It was like I had to make a turn, and there's 2 lanes, and the car that was in the lane to the left of me, like it was a straight and I was right. He was like halfway into my lane, so I was already snug, and my only shot was to go over it, and I went slow. Boom.
Romo was
Richie
on
knows about
Ridge.
those. You guys. What the people don't know on the Preserve podcast is the Preserve Development has one of the worst pothole sightings in all of Ohio.
Not worse than Chestnut Ridge.
It's debatable.
Oh, wow.
What?
It's very debatable. And Richie knows it. He just doesn't want to admit it now that I put him on spot.
No chance.
He's got to rep the Preserve podcast.
I have to. That's
positive spark is the moment that we had last night at Bobstein Park with Michael Morrow. I went in, I watched that part of the live stream. I mean, Richie was saying it was emotional, and I could feel it from home. I mean, what a special guy, a special moment to have everyone out there to pay their respects. But that was just an amazing night last night, because also you had Richie had Andrew Cayley in the booth last night. His sister caught a foul ball while he was interviewing him.
And he went FaceTime. He went FaceTime live.
He did.
In the outfield, which was awesome. Awesome.
I saw that.
The guys had a good time, I think, and Hubbard always brings a good time. So usually when we get a Hubbard guy, it would be you, Jamie, now Andrew, and then we got another crew coming. It sounds like for Hubbard. So we're making our home up there in Eagle Country, and couldn't be happier for it. So thanks for leading the way.
Of course, that could be a thing in the future too. I mean, we saw. Of course, we have like Coach Guerrero was mic'd up a little bit. If we can get these players acclimated, do like a mic'd up inning during an all-star game or something in the outfield.
Don't you worry about it, sweetheart. We're working on it.
We tried
it. It didn't work out. People didn't have the right
equipment.
You just need a phone and earplugs, basically.
Nobody had earphones.
Yeah, that was it. Nobody had them. So we're going to have to start buying those in bulk and handing them out like they're on a plane. So next time you're on a plane ride from Hubbard to East Palestine, just see if you can get some headphones.
I gotcha. We'll do.
Take his golf cart.
I'll take 1 bag of peanuts, please, and all the headphones you have, Stuart.
I'm waiting to golf. I'm waiting for the golf with you guys.
What's coming, man? I got invites at the wazoo right now. I just got 2 more over the weekend. So get your sticks ready, buddy.
I'm ready.
And your white polo shirt and your above the knee shorts. So.
Us 3 and
Tryon Bolnar.
I was trying to think of how you flip that. Tryon Bolnar.
Yeah, I'm just saying. We get Tryon Bolnar, right? And we're on a scramble. I think we're going to be all right.
25 under.
Yeah. We'll get E from Canada. Come down. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, Mr. Roma, for joining us. I appreciate it greatly, and so does Richie. And on behalf of A. Romo, on behalf of Richie Giuliano, on behalf of all of us at YSN, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget a ton of stuff on the network tonight, all starting at 5:30, All-Star Game at 7. And, of course, you can check it out, ysnlive.com/live. If you want to get the All-Star rosters before you get to the game, right above Romo's head in that QR code, you can scan that, and we are good to go. We'll have the liability forms as well at the at the stadium. So we hope to see you all out there. Support a good cause, Project MKC. Again, on behalf of all of us, we'll see you tomorrow from 3 to 4 on the network. Bye. YSN thanks you